About this game, after the stunts, after the schematics, it's still man on man. Most men got a breaking point. That's why I always talk about the quote, through the eyes of a man you can see his soul. Because you competed against somebody, and when you look in their eyes, you know, oh, he reached his breaking point. I got it.
I got it. That's right. P2P, we're back. We got you. This is the CFB Nation. I'm Nino Brown. That's my guy, Boomer, a.k.a. Jared Gray. We are back. Week 1 is here, people. Boomer, you excited?
Dude, you don't even know. Like, we start off banger week 0. I mean, just upset week 0. I'm here for it.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it all out there right off the ripper, right? And even New Mexico blowing like a 21 point lead.
Wow.
Dude. Oh, it was crazy. All right, I'm going to run you through the rapid fire. This is what we're going to do. Open up and go. Rapid fire with Boomer every episode before we get into certain games we want to talk about. Boomer, right off the rip. Blank will win the Big 12.
Kansas.
Woo! I like it. Blank will win the ACC.
Clemson.
Ah, my guy. I'm feeling it. Blank will win the SEC.
This is a tough one because I think it's going to really come down to like 3 teams, and nobody's going to think it's those 3 teams.
Okay.
I think you're always going to say Missouri. This is so tough for me. I still believe OU gets Missouri in the end, and nobody's going to see it. I think it's going to be OU, actually.
Wow. Well, they'll be making a statue of Brett Venables outside that stadium if they win the SEC year 1 for sure. Who will win the Big 10?
Ohio State.
Ooh, that one came off the tongue quick.
So easy. I think they're one of the best lineups in football.
I'm probably going to clip this one, and we're probably going to run this back a bunch of times on the YouTube and the Insta. Who will have the better season? Nebraska's Dylan Raiola or Oklahoma's Jackson Arnold?
Arnold by 1,500 yards.
Total? Like total yards? Not
over him.
Okay.
More than Raiola.
How many more touchdowns?
10.
I love it. That's why I had to add total, because we're going to come back. We're going to talk about it. Who has more dubs in 2024? Wake Forest or Vanderbilt?
This is so
bottom battles, baby.
This is tough. I'm going to say Wake Forest.
I like it. I got my guy there, Helinski. I think he might sneak in by the end of the year at quarterback. All right. Dark horse candidate for for coach of the year.
Well, I think because I picked Kansas to win the Big 12, Leopold's going to win the coach of the year. And I don't think he's a dark horse. He's my coach of the year.
Okay. Who will lead the Buckeyes in rushing this season? Quishon Judkins or Trevion Henderson?
Listen, I ride or die, right?
So you got to say Henderson then.
It's Trevion Henderson. I still think that he's the most all-around the better athlete. And I'm either going to ride with it or die with it at this point. So
I knew it was coming. I wanted to see. And I know that's been your guy. We've had multiple in-depth conversations about it. But, hey, you stay on that hill just like me. Last one, rapid fire before we break down these games. Micah Hudson or Cam Coleman, which wide receiver has a bigger impact as a true freshman?
I don't think it's going to be close, actually. I think of Micah Hudson by a mile.
I love it. That's my guy. I've been talking about Hudson for a minute. I love Cam Coleman. Don't get me wrong. I just think Micah Hudson's got that.
I think it also has to do with one place in the Big 12.
Yeah, right. And,
one place in the SEC.
And I think Auburn's still trying to figure things out with Peyton Thorne and all of that as well. All right. Hey, you made it to week 1's rapid fire. You didn't get burned.
We'll see. We'll see.
It could come back and burn you. We'll have to see. But we're going to go. I got 1 game on Thursday, 1 game Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday. So talk about some points, and we're just going to, me and you are going to go back and forth. Thursday, Buffalo Bulls take on the Lafayette Leopards. I know. We're going crate digging here. We got to stay off chalk, right? Buffalo just named QB CJ Ogbonna QB1 for 2024. What are your thoughts here?
Listen, I think Ogbonna is the right pick, to be honest with you. I mean, I think he gives them the best option to go different ways, right? I mean, he has a decent arm. I don't think he really hurts them. And I think if Buffalo is going to compete, they need a quarterback that's not going to hurt them, personally.
Yes.
And so I like it. I think they're in trouble week 1, though.
Whoa, talk to me here. You think that, see, my thing is I was kind of, Jack Shields did okay last year for Old Dominion. Okay. And I was like, all right, maybe you can come in there and push him around and maybe take that one. He's more of the true pocket passer, right? Ogbonna brings that kind of RPO, QB draw, and that off-platform style play. But I think Ogbonna with my guy Nick McMillan, I love it. I posted a thing on X.
I know you do. Love McMillan.
I think McMillan is going to just take off. Like I said, last year he kind of emerged as a threat, 600 plus yards and a couple touchdowns. Can he continue to lead this wide receiver room and develop, connection with Ogbonna?
Yeah, I really think so. I mean, like you said, you already posted a video on McMillan. If you aren't a believer, go watch it, right? I mean, go just listen. Nino ain't wrong a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's just not at this point. Like that dude he be digging his own rabbit holes.
It's your fault. It's you and
You
KT's fault. All right.
I'm okay with it. Right. I absolutely love the passion that you have completely flipped on this one. I mean, you here's the thing. I know how much I love college football. I would 1,000% argue that you might like college football more than me now.
And I came in as a NFL fantasy guy.
100%. You were not a college guy, and we threw you to the wolves, and now you're like, I'll be honest with you. And you were listen, I was the college guy. 100%. Everybody can tell you, like, I will say this live on air. Nobody can say, it wasn't said. Nino was a top 5 college guy in the entire game. Period.
I appreciate that, my man. I
Facts.
appreciate that. You guys stuck me in a hole. I climbed my way out of it, and now I'm just, it's addiction.
I'll put you against anybody. Honestly, I mean, there's a few people that don't want you in the room.
There might be a few people that might not want me in the room. Like I told KT, I watched the game on Saturday, right? Sunday, the wife took the kids out to a birthday party. I sat in the office, no volume, Florida State, Georgia Tech on, phone and notebook out, bro. And I just went to town. Like, that's my element. Give
always
me a
learning
room.
now. Always,
you know what I mean?
Always learning.
I don't want I don't want nobody else talking. Get that shit out of my ears. You know what I mean? Now, let me just watch ball. Because you see so much more when you just game with no volume,
I feel you.
All right. Now, these leopards here, right? Jamar Curtis, he's a dog in the running back room for them. 230 carries, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. And I know this number's right up your alley. 6.2 yards per carry here, buddy.
Hey, he carries the ball as well. Klubnik throws it.
Can Buffalo contain this guy? Is this why you think that this could be the upset?
100%. And this is where I'm at. Listen, if you do not if ain't 9 in the box,
he's gonna get hot knocks,
bro. I'm not kidding you. If there ain't one thing, you better not even think about playing the pass. Don't even think about it, because if you do, if I see 5 DBs,
smoked. He's going for 10. He's going for 10 off the ripper.
I mean, I promise my Twitter will be live as hell. 5 DBs next. 5 DBs next. 6 DBs. Oh. I'm just gonna put up.
Yeah,
every
just
time he
stack the
carries
box,
the ball,
bro.
If it ain't stacks, they're in trouble.
Now, if they stack the box and this kid goes off, then there's another conversation that we need to start having.
1,000%. Doak Walker.
Yeah,
it's in the conversation.
Underrated, because nobody's really bringing this kid's name up.
Matt Forte.
Right? Can Lafayette head coach John Troxel continue the success? I mean, he brought the success for Franklin Marshall, and last year they were 9-4, first place finish. Can we stack back to back, 8 or 9 win years and be successful?
Yeah, I really think so. I don't see a 9-win season, out of grass.
Out of the realm. Yep.
I mean, I think it's there. I mean, the coach is really solid. The team. Hey, when you bring a guy back that has 1,500 yards rushing, a 4 starting offensive linemen, you got a good area. You know what I mean?
You were able to keep them from bigger schools. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
and they brought in some decent players. So I'm here for it. I really think 9 wins could be possible. And here's the thing: if they pull the upset, I mean, Buffalo is favored in this game. Are we talking 10? Is it possible?
Ooh, I mean, it's very possible, right? What is the spread right now? Let me check it. Hold on. I believe the spread is Lafayette is getting 6.5 over under 50.5.
Ooh.
That 6.5 is a little spicy.
Listen, I kind of like the plus in the under on this one. I'm gonna go. Okay. I don't think it 25 each. Yeah, you know what? I'm going 54. Yep, let's go. Give me +6 in the over.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
All right.
Next, I got 6.5, which means they got win by 7.
That's what I'm saying. Got win by a touchdown, baby. All right. Friday. There's no layups on this show, by the way.
No.
TCU at Stanford. All right. 31.3 points per game from 38.8 was the difference between Garrett Riley to Kendall Browse in his first year. But the 41st ranked team from the 9th ranked team, that's a little bit different, right? Can Browse in year 2 get the Horned Frogs into that top 25 offensively conversation with, Josh Hoover now at the helm, with nobody else around now that Chandler Rogers has moved on?
Top 25 is kind of crazy.
I figure they were in the 40s. You figure if they do progress and get better, Hoover's second year now, you would think a jump would be close.
I could see that possible for sure. I'll go. My dog is killing me. I could see 25. I mean, honestly, I think they roll Stanford, by the way.
Oh, we'll get to that point. But, yeah, now, so you're believing in Hoover then, because I like Cam Cook, all right? But that's a lot of production loss from Imani Bailey for him to take over. He's kind of banged up a little bit, right? At the end of fall camp, he kind of missed, I don't want to say 4 or 5 practices. They said it was kind of just held him out as precaution. He's okay. He could have played. Is Cam Cook going to be the guy to lead his backfield? And is it going to be Hoover and Cook as the combo on this offense?
Yeah, I really think so. I mean, listen, if you're a running back and your last name is Cook, you should cook.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Listen, the ones we've seen have all done great things. I mean,
the numbers are wild. And there's, you just got to show up. I mean, Stanford, as good as they are, as good as they have been in the past, right? They have lost so much.
Right.
Honestly.
And they're super young right now.
Yes, you got to set the run here. Let's see what your quarterback has in a little bit. But really, let's just set up your running back and see where he's at.
I'm honestly, here for it.
I mean, plus you got your boys here, right? Savion Williams, JoJo Earl.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've been waiting, patiently waiting, like Eminem, for these guys to show up. Savion Williams. I mean, I thought JoJo Earl was gonna be a dude for Alabama. Couldn't even light a match, dude. You know what I mean? Like nothing. Went over to TCU. I'm like, oh, perfect, right? Going down south, Texas school, kind of a little bit off the map. Went from SEC to Big 12. Nothing. Now, I know he was injured last year, but at some point we got to stop with the excuses, right? He's got to either put up or shut up, right? So, do they take the next step? Because I was in on Savion Williams. I thought he was going to be better than what Quentin Johnson was the year prior. I think he's got the traits. I think he's got the contested catch ability. He knows how to catch the ball with his hands and not with his body. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I really thought that last year was going to be the step in. He didn't seem to take the step. Can one of these guys emerge as the wide receiver one?
Yeah, I mean, they need to. I think it's kind of like that whole aspect. Like, you got new coach, new system, new year, new team for him.
Right.
I'm kind of with you. I think Earl really steps up. I think Savion really steps up too.
I love Savion's game. I think if he hits and checks all the boxes, dude, he could be an alpha.
He really could. He could be one of those guys that, you know what? Let's just say this right now. He's going to have a monster year and go from a nobody to a top 2-round pick.
Yeah, I think he can have like a Mike Williams style career at the next level if he can figure it out this year.
I like it.
All right. Both Stanford QBs, I think, in my opinion, are underrated. I like Ashton Daniels. I like his mobility, right? Elijah Brown, the true freshman, come in. He's got an arm. Now, you add in Elik Aomaya, who everybody's talking about since he burnt, Travis Hunter last year. But you also pair him with Tiger Bachmeier, the Bachmeier that's not the quarterback at the wide receiver position. And Cedric Irvin Jr. in the backfield. Is this Cardinals offense? Could they make some noise?
I think it's going to be one of those things that they're overlooking them so bad, right? I mean, I'm overlooking them.
Right.
I mean, but it could be that Florida State, Georgia Tech thing that we just saw. We're like, you knew Georgia Tech had a decent offense, not really worried about their defense, and it was the opposite. Their defense really showed up. They showed out, to be honest with you.
Control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
100%. I really think if you're going to surprise somebody, it's got to be week one. And TCU used to I love Patterson as a coach. He never let his team go, listen, this team is Stanford, right? It was more like, dude, this is Stanford, all right? They had some dudes here. These guys are smart. You don't go to Stanford unless you were smart. So you better pay attention. Can Browse get them up like that? Can Browse make them like, hey, listen, you guys understand, it's Stanford still. So, and Stanford has the opportunity to run their division, right? Everybody else is gone. So,
no, they're in the ACC.
Oh, sorry, they're ACC. But that's they could be the dark horse team of the ACC.
They could be a thorn on people's side and just screw them over. Like, that one game against Stanford, you didn't look too good.
And that's the thing. ACC will do this.
Yes.
As soon as that game, if it's close, they really will. It's one of those weird bubble games. You're either going to ball out or get blown out. So
if Stanford wins, right, Brett Yarmick's been slapping the thing around on the table all offseason. It's going to be a big hit to the Big 12 if you lose it to a team that went to the ACC, right? That's going to be doing some of the most traveling all year. I think this being a close game, only a couple states away from where they are, don't rule out Stanford in this one. This is a guy I know you got to like. Gaethan Bernardo. He's the heartbeat of this defense. Is there a legitimate chance that he gets to 100+ tackles this season? If you take away the Hawaii game last year, dude, where he had 5 missed tackles, so his tackle rate went through the roof. Right? Just that game, we take that game alone, he would have had a missed tackle rate of like less than 7. I mean, that is elite. What do you think?
Got to be one of those guys that's we look as the Reese's Bowl, right? I'm like,
yeah.
He's a guy that I think that he's going to be very high on that list to have a really set himself up, go to the Reese's Bowl and make a name for himself. It starts tonight. You know what I mean? It starts week one. It's got to be a chance. He's got to be a guy that has 100+ tackles easy.
Someone's got to lead this Cardinals defense, right? So I think
their defense might stay on the field. So 115 tackles, no problem.
Cerebral guy, right? Can play downhill, can drop back coverage. So Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl, something in that realm. This is a guy that they're probably going to be looking at come towards the end of the season.
Agreed.
All right. Saturday, I got 2 games in the docket. These are the bigger of the two, I think. Penn State, number 8 Penn State versus West Virginia. How hot is James Franklin's seat? Like, are we going to be taking him on a stroll down the outhouse lane?
We talked about it. I think 4 people are in the hottest seats on the planet right now in college football. right? Billy Napier, obviously.
Sam Pittman.
Sam Pittman. Oh, he's gone after this year. That shit ain't hot as boiling, right? Lincoln Riley,
Whew.
right? James Franklin. It's got to be there. I mean,
everybody likes this guy, but what has he ever done?
I mean, he was good at Vanderbilt.
What's good? 5-6 wins. Yeah, you better sip that drink, my friend.
Vanderbilt. For Vanderbilt,
right?
Penn State's a different
standards down here, though.
Yeah,
at Vanderbilt.
Yeah. I mean, it's here, right? I mean, if you want 10 wins ever, you're at Penn State waiting out, right? You got the whiteouts going. That's one of the coolest things on the planet
ever.
And I don't what's he done? So yeah, I'm with I didn't say Billy Napier, right?
You did.
Who's FSU's head coach?
Mike Norvell. Nah, I
What?
thought so. Listen, he might be getting a call to say, "Hey, what happened?" Here's my thing. This is what I said to KT right before this. He loses 3 or 4 games this year. Now we can have this conversation about that seat being a little warm.
Here's the facts. He loses 3 or 4 games, and Buffalo barely makes the bowl game. You tell me Deion Sanders ain't going to FSU?
Oh, after all the shitty talk, though, about not being an alumni of Florida State,
Hey, money talks.
You're right, but I think Deion and Boulder got their own circus to figure out right now. Drew Allen versus Garrett Green. Get your popcorn ready, right? Because as much as they want to put, if I could pull it up on the screen right now, well, you can search it on X. If I pull that picture of J.J. McCarthy and his stats that said first-round draft pick, and then I pulled up Drew Allen's stats that said bust, they're pretty freaking close.
You called this last year, too. Like you
I don't understand
all off season.
Why we kill this kid. Yes, I get it. Downfield throws, he was inaccurate. But we also saw Spencer Rattler be terrible in downfield throws in one season, and then all of a sudden, probably going to win the job for the Saints, right? Spencer Rattler took off in South Carolina, even though he had a shitty offensive line, and now he's in the NFL.
Hey, that kid matured so much.
Oh, he turned it around, but he said it too. He said it, in Mobile. Like, I had to, fix some things with myself once I got out of that mold. It was all smooth sailing, was gravy after that.
I still so sick in Mobile. Oh my gosh.
It's like, I think if Drew Allen can figure out the downfield problems, right? Dude, he had 6 interceptions, 25-6. If I gave you a quarterback that had 2,500 yards, 25-6, you would be like, "Yeah, let's rock. We got a guy." And now they want to run this guy out of town, like they did with Brady Cook in Mizzou for the first 3 weeks last year. Booing him.
He does the same thing, right? 25-6, but 3,100 yards, 3,300 yards, right?
I need 60% completion downfield after 20.
64%.
Good. I'm good.
Now, if he does that, is Franklin's seat so hot anymore?
I think there's another fact that matters, and I'm going to get into it right now.
Okay.
You just switched Abdul Carter to try to make him Micah Parsons. It better freaking work. Because if it doesn't, you screwed up both sides of the ball, my friend.
Agreed.
And now there's no Manny Diaz to come in there and save your ass on the defensive side. That they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Freshman year, Hal Perkins was an absolute monster in the middle. Wanted to move Perkins to the outside because Mason Smith was hurt and suspended for the first 2 games. We needed pressure on the outside. Never moved him back. He looked like dog shit. You moved him back the last 4 games of the season. Oh, Harold Perkins isn't dog shit. He's just playing in his natural position, right? Now he's back in middle linebacker again this year. He's probably going to be a dude. If Abdul Carter's production falls off, bro, you're an asshole. And you're not leading these guys in the right direction. You should have kept him right where he was.
Agreed.
So I think those two factors will be huge in the future of James Franklin. Because, like I said, Manny Diaz being gone is going to be a big, big factor for that defense. Jaheim White had enormous success for West Virginia in that run game with Garrett Green. Can he continue to add to that? And can the Mountaineers somehow stop somebody from scoring? Because allowing 29.9 points per game makes it very difficult for you to win games. You got to put up 30 to catch a dub. It's hard to do on a week-to-week basis, especially when you're in a heavy ground game or ground and pound offense. Can White continue the success? And can we shut this points per game and cut it down to like somewhere in the low 20s?
At a minimum, they got to get to 21, right, to compete. Yep. Honestly, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the thing is, which Drew Aller am I getting? Which Garrett Green am I getting? I mean, Green has got to be. He's going to test out the waters. I mean, it's going to be wild at the combine. Like that'll be a fun one. They need to let him just show up.
Let him cook this year. You know what I mean?
What do you got to lose? Honestly?
Nothing. Wait, West Virginia, you haven't been good since Pat White and Steve Slayton.
100%. Completely agree. I mean, you got to give it a chance. Let him cook. They have to get to 21. There's a question I wanted to ask you, though. Going off the Mountaineers, because honestly, it's going to be a close game. But who's going to be the running back for those Nittany Lions? Is it going to be Allen or Singleton? You know where I stand, and I've lived there.
Oh, I know. If we're going to go by traits, attributes, what we physically see, right, you would say Singleton. But when you go from close to 6 yards per carry to 3.6 yards per carry, and you look like either you had a lingering injury or you were running like Isaiah Spiller in his senior year with shit in your ass, right?
Yep.
He didn't look explosive. He was slow down the stretch. So if that's not an issue and he's back to being freshman year Nicholas Singleton, then I don't think K-Tron Allen has a chance to pass him up. But if we're going to see last year's Singleton, he might be RB2 on that team.
Yeah, and it's wild to me because, I mean, I've said this, I was a big fan of Singleton coming out of high school. I was like, listen, he might be my, favorite running back coming out of high school. I'm sure we can pull it up. And he had a monster year. I mean, just crazy freshman year.
Right.
Then, bro, that dude didn't get out of bed all season.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't get off the bus. It was wild. What's crazy? My two running backs, who I expected to compete for the Doak Walker we talked about today, Travion Henderson and Singleton, didn't do diddly since their freshman year.
Braylon Allen didn't do nothing last year for you either.
I mean, and that dude's a monster, by the way. I mean, he's already short of the number 2 spot, on a massive depth chart. For the Jets.
So
I just wish he was at Dallas or
Dallas.
Something.
Oh yeah.
Right. He would be cooking down there.
Oh, they're gonna bring in Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing that you gotta worry about though, and we saw it in the spring, is the freshman Quentin Martin, dude. He's eating. He's gonna get reps, just like James Peoples is gonna get some reps at Ohio State. So it's like,
love that dude.
And I just saw your boy Taylor Tatum as third string. It's Barnes or Tatum.
So I don't really believe that. I don't really believe that, to be honest. I think there's hey, Javonte, you've been here quite a while. We're going to give you the not. It's not. I mean, Tatum.
Sawchuck, right? It's the guy.
I honestly think it's Gavin and Tatum, to be honest.
Barnes is just there.
You know what? Marcus Major was number 1 on the depth charts last year.
Yeah, he was 3rd or 4th on the team.
You know what I mean? That dude's in Minnesota.
Yeah, because Walker was in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. And that's thing. They got the other kid who's not even listed. which is wild. The kid from Washington, and they say he's a horse to bring down, and he's not even on the depth chart.
Oh, that's how BC is. Turbo is, so it's like not on their depth chart either, and he's probably going to be RB3 or 4 because he brings the receiving capability to it.
I honestly think it's one of those things where, like, dude, let's just throw some names on here and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
see if people actually read these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. I still can't believe Davion Mitchell's gonna.
I told you. You
gonna
told me he
redshirt.
was going to play. I'm like, I don't know, bro. It seems like they ain't really talking about him.
Their
right
starting
now.
tight end's a captain, by the way. Wow.
Crazy. Be blocking his ass off. All right. Number 19, Miami takes on Florida. And KT says this is one of those games that could have that Utah-Florida feel where Utah beat Florida, was unranked. All of a sudden, the following week, they're ranked. I think Georgia Tech's got to be in the top 25. They got to be in the top 25 tomorrow
100%.
at noon. You have to, right? If they
100%.
don't, it's a travesty, and you're doing them a disservice.
Even if it's 25. Oh.
I'm fine, but they deserve to be. They just beat the number 10 team in the country. Come on. Who has the quickest path to the outhouse? Cristobal or Napier?
It's Napier, bro. There's one. Honestly, you want my honest opinion? Napier's one of the worst hires in college football. I said what I said.
Why do I have... I've been on it for a little bit, and I've been slowly creeping myself into believing this. And I don't know why, because I don't like the quarterback. I don't like the coach. I really like their defense. I think Pup Howard's going to be a guy. I think that
Me
they
too.
got guys. I like their wide receiver room. Can Florida mess around and be a top 25 team?
No. Dude, here's the thing. Honestly, honest to God, give me 25 teams right now. Graham Mertz starting for.
No, I'm not doing that, bro, because I would say 0. I wouldn't even start him on my Boston College Eagles, dude. Give me Tommy Castellanos. You know what I mean? Like, no.
I mean, we just like, here's the thing though. I just give me 25 teams that he would put Graham Mertz the starter at, and then say Florida is the top 25 team.
But hold on. If you took Graham Mertz from last year, 72% completion.
That's true. He went
right
bonkers.
Right, and he was 20. I think it was 26 and 7 or something. Like, I don't like this dude just as much as I don't like Peyton Thorne. Don't get me wrong. But if he could be Captain Duncan Dink, right, like he was last year, be efficient. I know the schedule is terrible, right? But they could start the season off 5-1, homie. All right, I'm just going to read you
where's the one?
Well, it would be Tennessee. They would lose to Tennessee, right?
So you think they pull this upset? Let me hear it. Like, let me hear it.
Here's my thing. It's just everybody's counting them out, okay? And they got a lot of production coming. I hate that stat, all right? And I'm not going to be the guy to use it, but I'm just going to say they have a lot of this. I'll use it to my advantage. They have a lot of good production coming back. You know, I always say with KT, oh, you won 3 games. You got 85% of your production coming back. You're still shit, right? You won 3 games. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, if you won 12 games and you had 70% of okay. Now we're talking, you know. So the stat that only works in certain areas. But they got back 70% of their offense outside of the running back, right? That transferred. Everybody's back.
And they're still wide receiver.
Right. And they're healthy. Al Sportingham is a legitimate tight end option. The offense might not be something that's going to go down and throw a 65-yard bomb, 9 route. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to go and flea thicket. They're going to methodically, slowly work their way down the field while they eat clock, right? He built the defense to set them up to playing close games. Went got attack linebackers, went attack safeties that can play on ball. I'm not saying they're going to set the world on fire, but I think Florida's going to be in a lot of these games. And if you tell me it's a 1-score game down the stretch You want Billy Napier or Mario Cristobal? I'm taking Billy Napier because I don't trust Mario Cristobal with the dam after last year's non-knee.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that one, right? I mean, I'll tell you this. I don't think Miami should be in the top 25.
No.
I don't. Again, you know me, I hate preseason AP. Not a fan. I think week 1 needs to happen, right? Before an AP, even thinks about it, right? And I give you, it's for viewership, it's for talking, it's for that. I get it.
We do.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we talked about it 4 or 5 years ago. I actually pulled this thing up where there was like all these teams in the SEC were ranked in the top 25. And then there was 9 of them not in the top 25.
By the end of the year, yeah.
Yeah, it was, it was crazy. Miami, Florida, one plays in the SEC, one plays the ACC. If Miami is this good, I mean, they should roll them, right? But bro, you don't know as well as I do. You don't just go in here.
No, you don't just go in there and think you're gonna walk around and wiggle it back and forth and be that guy. It's like going in Jordan Hare, right? Even though they're not good,
it's cursed.
Recently, you go in there, it's like the devil's playground, bro.
I'll be honest. Oklahoma has played Jordan Hare. I do not want to go to that game.
Jackson has already said that when he was, at camps and stuff. Dudes would tell him you don't want to go there, bro. Yeah. That place is terrible. It's cursed. You don't want to go there.
The Swamp, dude. I mean, the sideline is 5 yards from wall to sideline. 5 yards.
Terrible.
Them dude, the fans are literally on
your back, dude. Yeah,
like you mother, dude. It's wild. So yeah, the Swamp is wild.
If Napier wins 7 games, as much as they want to fire him, they can't.
Oh yeah, especially with schedule, 100%. So I mean, you know me, I'm here for the upset. I mean, I love an absolute. The SEC would love it, obviously.
They'd be all. But so they beat Miami. They play Sanford, right? If they beat Miami, they're probably going to be ranked or close to it. Texas A&M in the Swamp. It's like they get the 2 ranked games at home, dude. I think that's a winnable game at home.
I don't know how A&M's ranked either, by the way.
If it was in College Station, we might be having a different conversation. But when it's not, and I think that it swings the other way. Then you go to Mississippi State. I know you love Levy, but there's a lot of moving parts there in year 1. I don't know if that's, a dub. I think Florida can win that game at home against UCF, travel to Tennessee, right? At home against Kentucky. You're going into the Georgia game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-1. You're going to lose the Georgia game.
Yeah.
6-2 after 8 games. Bro, you're already bowl eligible, right? And you get another loss against Texas, another loss against LSU, another loss against Ole Miss. So now you're at 6-5, right? No, 6-4. And you finish off against Florida State, who probably isn't ranked by the end of the year, and you blow the doors off them. 7 wins, right? You beat some good ranked schools. And now you have a 5-star kid in DJ Lagway coming in the following year. Napier's already got one of the top recruiting classes in the game. You can't hate him there. But how do you fire him?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. If he gets to 7 to 8 wins, agreed. It starts week 1 though. I mean,
they got to be competitive.
It's got to be a good game. I mean, 100%. If Miami, gets at them, we'll know right then.
Yeah, if they're getting beat like 14-3 in the first quarter, then all right. But
it's never over till it's over. Ask New Mexico.
I know. All right, this is a game I'm excited to kind of talk about because
so stoked.
Sunday, we have college football. Number 23 shouldn't be ranked USC versus number 13 LSU. Completely underrated. Should be probably in the top 10. You could switch them in Notre Dame. I truly believe that. I don't think Notre Dame should belong in the top 10. It's just because prestigious school. Lincoln Riley versus Brian Kelly. If I sat you down in a chair, duct taped you, right? Put a gun to your head and said, which guy you taking to rebuild a program? Who you rolling with?
Oh, I've been a Brian Kelly guy forever. You know this. Cincinnati, I've been on the train. So I love Brian Kelly, right? And remember, I got lit up. Hey,
Yeah.
Brian Kelly's going to LSU. Love it, right? Everybody's like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, no. I mean, he's done really well. He's been a really good coach, right? And then he had a really bad game against Florida State, and they're like, "Told you it was terrible." I'm like, "Listen, it ain't over." And then he had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. So here's the biggest difference for me, right? I think Lincoln Riley is probably the greatest offensive coordinator in college football.
Okay.
He is not a great head coach.
No.
He's a phenomenal offensive coordinator. He might be the best offensive mind, college pro. I mean, that dude, he's got a photographic memory. Like, it's wild to me.
His boy's in the same boat, bro. His boy's the same way. Cliff.
Agreed. Well, I don't think Cliff King was in the same.
No, I'm saying good offensively, not a coach.
Not a head coach, 100%. I think Lincoln Riley's a great offensive coordinator. So, Brian Kelly's a great football coach.
Brian Kelly can develop talent. I don't know if Lincoln Riley can develop anything.
Lincoln Riley can't even develop 5 stars.
Yeah, he can develop a cold. So that's about it. You know what I mean? Miller Moss versus Garrett Nussmeier. Who you got here? Because I'm riding Garrett Nussmeier. I don't trust Miller Moss. I don't think Miller Moss is the starting quarterback the whole season for the Trojans.
100% agree. All right. Not even close.
That's easy. Can DeAnthony Lyons revive the Trojans defense like he did with UCLA?
Yes.
Okay. Now we have to have another conversation because that's always been their problem. Defense.
Agreed.
We can score.
As long as Lincoln Riley lets him coach.
Okay. I think he will because I think Lincoln Riley knows that the heat's coming down the pipeline as the season goes on. If that defense can improve and stop some teams, they're going to put points up on the board. They got some Deuce Robinson, Zachariah Branch. The running back looks good. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He's jacked up right now. Transferred over from Mississippi State last year.
Yeah.
Marks? Yes.
Marks.
He looks ready to eat
like a monster.
Defensive lineman for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So if they can put up points, we might be talking about maybe USC deserves to be ranked at 23 if they have a defense. I just don't know if they gave him enough pieces.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they have. I think Branch's one of the best all-around athletes in college football. I mean, he's wild, dude. He's
crazy things this year. Crazy.
He's wild. He's gonna have a big year, and I think this is his last year in college. So, I even if I honestly believe he's gonna pull a Jamar Chase. So I just think that he's the dude. Is he a household name? I thought he was a household name the day he took a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there. I mean,
he's the first Team Jordan member in NIL history. The only one.
Absolutely, which is wild.
Right?
I mean, he's an absolute dude. I'm 100%. Let's go with the return of freshman Harold Perkins, middle linebacker. Listen, I'm going to be on this. I think the top 2 linebackers in football, in all of college football, in the SEC.
Yeah, Pearson and Perkins.
Stutzman and Perkins.
James Pierce doesn't need to have 5 years of college football.
I agree, but that's the thing. With time comes, experience, and I think Stutzman. I still think Stutzman should have went in the draft because he would have been the best linebacker in the draft because it was a very weak linebacking core draft. I mean, it just was money. For me, I
don't know why he came back.
I was shocked too. I was just here for it. But I mean, I'm as a Sooner alumni, I'm here for it 100%.
Right.
Perkins and him are going. I can't wait because imagine if both those teams are at the end of the season one loss.
Oh yeah,
like in it, right?
both those guys will be major.
That will be one of the greatest closing games last week. I mean, the chatter will be wild. It will be a 7:00 game. I don't care what people say.
Oh, they'll.
That will be just. I just want to hear those two chatter the whole time. So, Perkins is the absolute dude. He's a first round draft pick.
I know. I hear people say, LSU talks about this kid like he's next coming to Jesus Christ. He got all the tools.
I mean, there's been 2 or 3 linebackers that come out of LSU recently. I think he's as good, if not better, than Devin White.
I love it. I love it because he's my guy. I've been on the train. I don't give a shit up or down.
And that's hard for me to admit. You know this. I mean, it's just.
I know. He's the dude. Let me see here. This backfield for both teams is kind of up in the air, right? Like, who's gonna lead?
I think you already called Marks.
Is he gonna be the guy? Like, cause
Brown's not there, right?
No, he's gone.
He gone. I mean, again, Raleigh can't develop.
Raleigh Brown transferred and switched positions to wide receiver.
Yeah.
So right now, is it Caleb Jackson? Right? Because I read, which would be crazy, that John Emery Jr., the dude who's been suspended for 2 consecutive years for grades, right? I read that he was leading reps and leading the room for LSU running back. Like, flipping a coin here? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not listen, if you can't get it together in class, how are you going to get on the field? Like, I mean, you know how it is. The players talk, bro.
Oh,
and
yeah.
If you can't lead in both aspects, right? Honestly, how you going to let him play? So, as a coach myself, I mean, it's tough to have a kid not take care of his priorities.
Right.
I don't expect him to take care of his priorities, because then I'm saying it's okay to mess
to be
around.
A screw up. Yeah. You can
And
be shitty for 2 years in school and we'll still let you play.
Yeah. So I don't think Emery is.
Yeah, and like I said, it's Woody Mox here. I think Woody Mox is just going to have a phenomenal year. Quentin Joyner is there, sophomore, to back him up. But I think Woody Mox.
He built like a fridge.
Yeah, dude. Marshawn Lloyd was there last year. I think you're going to see more of the bigger back this year with Woody Mox.
Especially with the quarterback difference. I mean, Caleb's and Miller are totally different. Or, you know what I mean? It's just they're different players.
Oh, yeah. It's not even in the same realm.
Yeah, not even the same time zone. So,
what is the spread here?
It's an interesting one because if LSU's defense shows up, it's over.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Because USC, if their defense showed up, it'd be the first time in 3 years. So,
yeah, since he showed up, since Lincoln Riley showed up.
But I mean, I will tell you, as an Oklahoma fan, I was very happy to see the defensive coordinator leave. So,
LSU's favored by 4.5. The over under is 64.5. Why do I like the under?
64.5 is a lot. 30-something points.
I feel like LSU could put up 31. I don't know if USC can put up.
Yeah, USC's has the offense in general to play that way, right? Because I don't know who's going to cover Branch one-on-one. I mean, they're going to double him, honestly.
Then you got the 6'5" tight end / wide receiver, and Deuce Robinson is just going to eat, dude.
Yeah, I
Jacoby Lane is the guy.
I could see like a 24-17 game.
So you're expecting USC's defense to show up.
I don't expect Nussmeier to blow. I don't expect Brian Kelly to take a risk like he did with Jaden Daniels.
Okay.
That's the difference. I look at him. He needs to see what Rock. Now tell me this though, because I feel like either one of two things is going to happen, right? Either Lions is going to zero blitz like nobody's business, see what they got,
and get blown out,
or setback.
Right.
which is why they get in trouble. Why UC gets in trouble because 10 yards off the ball on their defensive backs, like
5-yard plays
you know,
turn into 15.
yeah, like let's I dare you to run it on me, right? That's what I think Lions is the difference in that aspect. I think they're going to make Nussmeier play quarterback. And I kind of feel the same way with Chip Kelly. I can see a 24. I could even see a 28-21 game. I don't see a 34-30 game. You know what I mean? 63's over.
Yeah, 64.
Man, you're talking 30, 34, 31. I just don't see that.
I think
so.
We've seen similar games from both of these quarterbacks in the bowl game, right? Milwaukee went off for 5 touchdowns. Garrett Nussmeier had 3 touchdowns and 280 in the first half. Dude. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, but it's a bowl game with a lot of guys who didn't play. I think Kyron Lacey is that next LSU wide receiver. I think they found a way in the past 7 years to every single season just have a stud wide receiver, right? And just,
dude, I'm telling you, LSU, something they put in, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. You got shut down, they said, my friend. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but if you go back and look, Ohio State to LSU, now how many guys went to the show in the last probably 5 to 7 years? It's pretty damn close. This is week 1. We previewed some games for you. I'm Nino Brown on the P2P. Boomer's going off the TV. We'll be back next week.
You know the great thing about this game? After the stunts, after the schematics, it's still man on man. Most men got a breaking point. That's why I always talk about the quote, through the eyes of a man, you can see his soul. Because you competed against somebody, and when you look in their eyes, you know, he reached his